So Ma, who are these 10 Mahavidyas? What are their attributes that I think our audience would love to know?
Yes, they aren't any kind of feminine characters moving around somewhere in the universe. They are not women moving around in the universe. They're frequencies. And when we say frequencies, because they belong to the Shakti frequencies, we depict them as women. But then there is a living goddess in every man also, and when you understand the word Devi as energy, then you understand that it is not related to gender. It is related to the functional aspect of consciousness. Consciousness, which is Shiva principle, is a static principle, potential principle, whereas Devi is the moving aspect of consciousness, and so she is energy. She's more kinetic in nature, and different aspects of Devi, the different creations of Devi, different Mahavidyas, for instance, are different frequencies of that same one Devi, which is Adi Parashakti, that is splitting into 10 different aspects that is ruling this universe. So when we talk about Devi, when we talk about Mahavidyas, the first thing to understand, it is not a woman.
Wow. Okay.
This is the first thing to understand. Yes, it is energy, and this energy is prevalent in a man and a woman both, in me as well as in any other man. And so she is living as a principle, energy principle, in me, in you, in everyone, be it masculine or feminine. So invocation of the Devi is basically the invocation of the core energy principle in you, which creates that dynamic that each of these Devis is representing. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ma, could you brief about all the Mahavidyas, starting from 1 to 10?
Yes, I would love to do that. The Kali, as they say, the darkness. Kali means darkness. The darkness is so throbbing with creativity and life. From this darkness, everything has come out. We are born to this darkness. And the journey is from being born to this darkness, going into the light and coming back into the darkness, which means that there is creation, there is sustenance, there is dissolution, and there is involution again. So there is this eternal cycle of life and death that every being on earth goes through. And from the energy point of view, we are born to Kali and we return back into Kali. We are born to this darkness and we return back after having seen the light, come back into the Kali by choice. So she is the most transcended form of the Devi. At the onset of the Mahavidyas, it is Kali. The whole Vidyas, all the Vidyas have come out of her. So she is at par with consciousness. She is consciousness itself. And therefore, in the Mahavidya sadhanas, Kali sadhanas is the most intense. It is the most intense, and any other sadhana also, if someone is doing any other Mahavidyas also, they enter into consciousness through Kali.
So they have to start through Kali?
It is by any which way, you will have to go into Kali and then go into consciousness. That means, what is the purpose of a sadhana? First of all, let us understand this, Rangoli. Why would anybody want to do sadhana? Why does anybody want to do sadhana? They want to experience Paramatma.
Yeah.
This is the goal of sadhana. Of whether it is Shiva sadhana, Bhairav sadhana, Kali sadhana or anything, the goal is to experience Paramatma, God realization. This is the ultimate goal. So, God realization happens through Kali only when we talk of Mahavidyas. That means that even if you're doing Bhuvaneshwari sadhana or Chinnamasta sadhana or Dhumavati sadhana, the frequency rises up to the frequency of Kali and it takes you into consciousness.
Okay.
Kali is transcendence, transcended. That means the sadhak transcends, enters into that, spectrum of Kali and then goes into realization of God. So she is the beginning point and the end point of the sadhana. All right.
Wow.
So Kali is where the creation begins, and she is sum total of the tamas. From this frequency comes out the frequency of Tara, which is pure sattva, pure light. So where Kali represents darkness and absolute procreation, which is in its grossest, in the darkest form, Tara represents the first shoot of creation, the first shoot that begins with creation, and that is sattva. Purity and transcendence, knowledge, wisdom. She represents knowledge, wisdom, like Saraswati. She's like Saraswati in the Mahavidyas.
Okay, she's like the form of
Like the form of Saraswati, and purity, like Brahma, like Saraswati, like absolute represented with absolute white. Yeah. So education and wisdom and absolute meditation, no movement. Yes, creativity, etc. Then the third principle of Shodashi is born. This is represented by the color red. And this is absolute productivity and activity. Shodashi is absolute productivity and activity. It represents the sum total of all the creativity and everything that is buzzing here on earth. Had it been for Kali, there would be total darkness. Had it been for Tara, it would be total light. But it is Shodashi that creates life.
The red goddess.
So, yeah, the red goddess. She's Matripur Sundari, Lalitambiga, Rajarajeshwari, and she is, you can say, a beautiful combination of all the colors that earth could ever experience.
Wow.
That is why she has become most popular in the Mahavidya tradition. Sri Vidya is most popular. Sri Vidya is the study and sadhana of Shodashi, which comes in the Trikona. It comes in the red format, in representing some total of Rajas. All right. Then comes Bhuvaneshwari. Bhuvaneshwari is Bhuvan Ishwari. That means the ruler of the sky. The one that rules the sky, ether element. She rules the ether element and the connectivity between the earth and the heavens, connectivity between earth and all the realms above. So the Trikona of Kali, Tara and Shodashi, you cannot connect to without the stage of Bhuvaneshwari, without the frequency of Bhuvaneshwari. She connects. She brings on earth, she grossifies everything and makes it possible for the creation to be visible. She grossifies everything. So whatever Kali is dreaming, Bhuvaneshwari is bringing it down on earth. She's manifesting and making. That's why she's the Devi for manifestation. People worship her for with their icha, and they express their desire to the Devi. She is the Devi that grants and blesses them with whatever they want.
So she's the one who quickly
manifests. Yes, because she can connect to the higher three Devis and can bring down to earth whatever is required.
So she's like the medium to the
She's like the medium to the higher frequencies. Okay. Yes, Bhuvaneshwari, and also is in many places in India, many states in India, wherever Bhuvaneshwari is prevalently practiced, you will see her decked up like Shodashi. She's appears to be much like Shodashi, in red, bejeweled, and sitting on a asana, and she looks like Shodashi. She's much like Shodashi. So Bhuvaneshwari is these Devis also correspond to planets. Yeah. These Devis also correspond to different functions of creation in our body as well as outside our body. So Bhuvaneshwari corresponds to moon, and she's the mind. And therefore, a very important aspect of our living. When with her blessings, the mind is purified. With her blessings, we are able to think right. Yeah. With her blessings, we are able to connect to the other Devis very beautifully.
Because it's connected to moon.
Yes,
right?
It's connected to moon. She's connected to moon. She's at par with the moon. These correspondence with planets and with colors and with different forms of Vishnu and different forms of Shiva, they have all been written down by thinkers. Okay. Thinkers and sadhaks who have been aligning themselves to these frequencies and been experimenting with the Devis. You can then make a list of stones that can correspond to these crystal stones and precious stones that can correspond to these Devis. You can make a list of planets that align with these Devis, etc. So Bhuvaneshwari is here at our crown, and she represents the Devi that brings down the dreams of all these upper three Devis on the earth, and is blending these gunas, into creating gross forms, whether it is trees or all the different beings or human beings, whatever you see in a tangible form on earth, it's the work of the Bhuvaneshwari that she's bringing it all down. Then Bhairavi you have as a power in the third eye. Bhairavi is very fierce. That's why Bhairavi is also always shown very fiery, and very scary. She looks very scary because she is a very fierce energy that comes from at par with the Bhairava Shakti, at par with the Shiva Shakti at the brow. So she is depicted most of the times as a Smashana Bhairavi or someone. She corresponds to all the 9 planets. You see, her energy is like stretchable like a rubber band.
Wow.
That's why she represents all the 9 planets, and she can align to every planet.
That's why she controls all the 9
She
planets.
controls. And if you see beautiful pictures that artists have depicted on the internet, or you see Bhairavi, putting her finger on all the 9 planets. She can control the 9 planets and bring their movement. It's like this. So she's a kind of a cosmic controller. And yes, aligns with all the 9 planets, aligns with the Pravaha Shakti. Pravaha Shakti is a very profound Shakti of Shiva. That which can burn things, that which can destroy things. Entropy, there's a word in English called entropy. Entropy is like rearranging all that is being beautifully designed. I don't like this arrangement and I redesign everything. So she's got that energy of redesigning the cosmos, Bhairavi. That's why she is a powerful Devi that can eradicate any kind of suffering, disease. She can control elements, she can control prana. Pranic Shakti is controlled by the Bhairavi force and can realign, restructure anything and everything.